2 days after President Trump ordered the military to step up its presence there, about 2,200 active duty forces are already at the border as part of Joint Task Force.
In a bold move that has sent shockwaves through international markets, President Donald Trump has imposed substantial tariffs on imports from Canada and Mexico, citing concerns over illegal immigration and the influx of fentanyl into the United States. These tariffs, set at 25% for most goods and 10% for energy resources, have been temporarily lifted following negotiations, but the economic and political ramifications continue to reverberate across North America.
Trade war. President Trump is saying, bring it on.
If they wanted to play the game, I don't mind. We can play the game all they want.
25% more. On February 1, 2025, President Trump signed executive orders imposing a 25% tariff on all imports from Mexico and Canada, with a reduced 10% tariff on Canadian energy exports. These measures were justified under the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, with the administration citing the need to curb illegal immigration and the flow of fentanyl into the U.S.
What I'd like to see, Canada become our 51st state. We give them protection, military protection. We don't need them to build our country.
The ripple effects can be felt across industries, from manufacturing to agriculture, as businesses scramble to adapt. The imposition of these tariffs has significant economic implications for both Canada and Mexico. Analysts predict that the tariffs could lead to a 3.6% reduction in Canada's real GDP and a 2% decline in Mexico's real GDP. In contrast, the U.S. is expected to experience a smaller decline of 0.3% in real GDP. The tariffs are anticipated to disrupt supply chains, increase consumer prices, and potentially lead to job losses in all three countries. In Canada, industries such as automotive manufacturing, which rely heavily on cross-border trade, are particularly vulnerable. Similarly, Mexico's agricultural sector, a significant exporter to the U.S., faces substantial challenges. Political reactions and negotiations. Trade wars are rarely one-sided battles. When one nation strikes, the others retaliate. In response to the tariffs, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau announced reciprocal tariffs and emphasized Canada's commitment to addressing U.S. concerns. Mexico's President Claudia Sheinbaum pledged to deploy 10,000 National Guard troops to the U.S.-Mexico border to enhance security. These concessions led to a temporary suspension of the tariffs for 30 days, providing a window for further negotiations. Supporters of Trump's trade war, despite criticism from global elites and political opponents, President Trump's tariffs have garnered strong support from key figures and organizations that recognize their necessity for safeguarding American jobs and national security. These tariffs, they argue, are a crucial step toward. Peter Navarro, architect of the trade strategy. Peter Navarro, President Trump's trade advisor, has been a vocal proponent of the administration's tariff policies. A fierce advocate for economic nationalism, Navarro argues that these measures are essential to correcting trade imbalances and revitalizing American manufacturing. He insists that the tariffs will not only protect U.S. industries from unfair competition, but also lead to long-term economic benefits.
China, to me, is an existential threat to the United States. It is
the United States Trade Representative, Robert Lighthizer, has been a staunch defender of President Trump's aggressive trade policies, playing a pivotal role executing the administration's vision for economic sovereignty. With a deep-rooted belief in fair trade, Lighthizer sees the tariffs as powerful leverage to counter decades of unfair trading practices that have undermined American industries. He argues that these measures are not just about protecting U.S. businesses from foreign competition, but about restoring American dominance in global trade. Lighthizer remains unwavering in his stance that these tariffs will lead to stronger trade agreements, providing long-term economic security for American workers and ensuring that the United States dictates the terms of its economic future. Mark Endel, the voice of American manufacturing revival. Few individuals embody the spirit of American manufacturing resilience quite like Mark Endel. A staunch advocate for democracy is more than just a slogan. It's a mission to revive an industry once abandoned to globalization. He views President Trump's tariffs not as economic barriers, but as a long overdue correction to decades of outsourcing that have crippled American factories. For Endel, these tariffs are a beacon of hope, a bold step toward restoring jobs, strengthening communities, and ensuring that American craftsmanship once again takes center stage in the global market. Republican lawmakers, walking the fine line between patriotism and pragmatism within Congress, Key Republican lawmakers such as Senator Josh Hawley, Senator Tom Cotton, and Representative Jim Jordan have expressed strong support for President Trump's tariff strategy. They view it as a necessary approach to address trade imbalances and protect national interest. Challenges, such as the need for increased aid to farmers affected by retaliatory tariffs, they remain confident that the long-term benefits of renegotiated trade agreements will outweigh the short-term difficulties. For them, the tariffs represent a bold step toward economic independence and national security. Impact on U.S. consumers and business. While the tariffs aim to protect U.S. interests, they also carry potential drawbacks for American consumers and businesses. The Peterson Institute for International Economics estimates that the tariffs on Canada, Mexico, and China could cost a typical U.S. household over $1,200 per year. Industries that rely on imported components, such as automotive and electronics manufacturing, may face increased production costs, which could be passed on to consumers. Additionally, agricultural products like avocados, which are predominantly imported from Mexico, may see price hikes, affecting American consumers' wallets. Global trade implications. The tariffs have broader implications for global trade dynamics. They signal a shift towards protectionism and have the potential to disrupt established trade relationships. The unpredictability of U.S. trade policy under the current administration has led to concerns among allies and trading partners, prompting some to seek more stable economic alliances elsewhere. Canada and Mexico marks a decisive victory in this ongoing battle for fair trade. With both neighboring countries forced to make concessions, Canada scrambling to mitigate economic fallout, and Mexico deploying National Guard troops to the border, the U.S. has emerged as the dominant force in this round of economic brinkmanship. While the temporary suspension of these tariffs offers a brief respite, it is clear that Trump's hardline approach has shifted the balance of power, leaving Canada and Mexico reeling. As negotiations continue, the global community watches closely, recognizing that the outcomes will redefine the future of international trade in North America.
In a tit-for-tat spat that could impact the global economy.
And his closest trading partners.
Oh yeah, it was great. I look at what he got out of it in relatively short order too. So I look forward to what's next.
What did he get though? It seemed like a couple of re-announcements from both countries, things they've done before.
Oh, he got troops at the border.
Canada and Mexico would come to the table and agree to be very active partners securing the border. That's exactly what happened.
Was it fair to treat Canada and Mexico equally on this file though?
It is.
According to the White House press secretary, quote, Canada is bending the knee just like Mexico. Is that?
As has been reported by CNN and every other news outlet, both Mexico and Canada have reached agreements today with Donald Trump to do what we want them to do.
We're going to win big league. Big league. Big league. Even bigger win than we anticipated, and I was just informed that we got double the